I've been noticing a rather heavy emotional weight in the background lately. I'm at the point now in my life where I don't really suffer from the intense kind of depression that we're all capable of. The kind where you don't want to get out of bed, where you don't want to work, you don't even want to do the things you usually enjoy doing, where you feel no inspiration whatsoever. In short, you don't want to participate with the world. I've been there. I was in that space for years. And in my opinion, intense depression can be worse than physical pain in many cases. So I finally had to stop today and really face this growing dread that's been festering in the back of my consciousness, of my heart and my mind. Because when you're affected by issues like this that are so large and they're so encompassing, it's hard to even realize at first what you're depressed about. You want to point the finger at something. Sometimes that can be so big, it can be abstract. When it's just a depression from something personal in your life, sometimes it's easy to zero in on it. As I looked at this pain and destruction and heartbreak, we humans are wreaking on each other, as well as the animals and plant life that's been thriving and evolving for millions of years. I first realized that I had to break this problem down to its core. That means, what exactly is my response to all this? Because all I've been feeling from all of this is an indescribable heaviness, a hopeless weight that feels like it won't ever go away. And that's how these dark emotions always feel. Those of you who are familiar with depression, it very much feels like, well, this is my existence now and forever. After I peeled away all the specific details, I saw that what I'm really asking here is something I find myself asking each time I watch the world around me appear to grow just a little darker than it did last year. Each time I notice the people seem just a little more confused and aggressive. And that question is there a way to live in this world with an open heart and open eyes and remain not just sane, but genuinely happy and at peace? Is that truly possible? And the immediate response from the deepest part of my consciousness was an absolute, undeniable yes. And of course my brain fires back with, okay, then how? How does that work? After spending some time meditating on this issue and on this question, on these feelings of mine, this is what I've come back with. This is what I wanted to really share here, not just the dark stuff that we already all know about. To begin with, I had to realize that even though everything I've mentioned about the planet and the people making the big decisions on it may be 100% true, ultimately, what we humans are facing here is still nothing new in the grand perspective. We've always been on a sinking ship where we're asked to behave as if it's not all going to end any moment, that you and everyone you know is eventually going to die. There have never been any guarantees on what's around the corner. This is simply not a new feature of this world. We are creatures who are deeply aware of their own mortality. Humans are equipped with this strange ability to be cognizant of the fact that all we've been given is a bit of time before the ship goes down for good. It's all temporary. All we ever have is the moment that is unfolding for us. And clearly that makes many of us insane, or at the very least, deeply depressed. Once I remembered that truth, it stopped me in my tracks. I had the day off work and I was walking down the road to get some breakfast, and I looked at what was around me in the moment where I was actually standing. And I'm on this beautiful walking path that runs behind this line of condos and apartments and retirement homes in my neighborhood. And the sun is out, the sky is blue, there's a cool breeze, and I'm under this canopy of trees along the trail. I'm currently not in pain, I'm not sick, I'm not hungry, and I had to think how much of the world's population wishes they could switch places with me right now. I begin to feel once again how incredibly lucky I am to be able to experience this moment like this, and the most profound sense of gratitude welled up within me. Because temporarily, on some mild level, I had forgotten what I'd been trying to remind everyone else through my books and my art and my videos. And that's how these insights work. You'll have incredible wisdom shown to you, and then you'll sort of forget it, and something else will pull at your attention, and then you'll get to remember it all over again. You get to revisit them all over again, all of these insights. You get to learn them all over again, but from a deeper level, a deeper perspective. Your moments are so often filled with beauty that you're too busy to notice. I was fortunate enough to not be personally experiencing all the terrible, swirling realities my mind had been running through earlier. Now, tomorrow, I may not be so lucky. There are absolutely never any guarantees for any of us, no matter how much money or power we manage to hoard in this life. None of it will ever be enough to guarantee that dark times won't come upon us. And we can face those moments as well and transform them in the process. Once you learn to find gratitude in the present, you will learn to enter peace and happiness, even in the face of all the horrors that are going on in this world. And it starts with us. It starts with you. Yes, educate yourself on what is happening in your town, in your state, in your country, on your planet. Don't hide from it. This is not a stick your head in the sand type of advice I'm offering here. But the way you come back to sanity is to not then carry all of the never-ending stories of horror going on around the world on your shoulders. And if that's all you manage to achieve in this lifetime, then you're still better off than most. If the average individual could find genuine gratitude for what they have, my God, this world wouldn't be in the shape it is now. Even if you never lifted a finger to try to help others in need, you never donated to a charity or did something selfless to help the bigger problems we talked about earlier. If you have found gratitude for what you have, you've become the change you hope to see in the world. And the world is filled with people actively making these problems worse in one way or another out of an utter lack of gratitude, the psychotic need to acquire more money, more power, more respect, status, blah, 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 blah. You'll never satiate that appetite. When you find gratitude for what you have, you will respond appropriately and sanely to the darkness in the world. You'll be drawn to act in ways that will be actually effective in helping the real problems out there. And believe me, I know how trite some of this sounds. Be grateful for the moment. How many greeting cards have you seen with something like that written in sparkly cursive writing? That alone can be a challenge, to really let yourself hear genuine advice when it really does sound like the final message at the end of a Hallmark holiday movie. The mind will scoff at it and it'll say, yeah, I've heard this. And it'll want to discard it. Okay, you've heard it. Have you really merged with the wisdom it's offering, though? Or does that scare you? And, you use the excuse, well, I've heard this all before, to avoid going deeper. it's certainly part of the games the mind plays on us to keep it in control. So be aware of that, and be grateful, be at peace, be happy that you are not dealing with some of the terrible things that are going on out there. Because again, tomorrow may be different, so find gratitude, find your center, find enoughness, find your center of contentedness where what you have is enough. That's how we return to our sanity. That's how we return to our heart. Okay, that's enough of that. I'll be back with a more traditional episode soon. So in the meantime, peace and love, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.